that will help them prepare and to practice. Now, let's look over here at the Liberty District brackets. Stonebridge is the one team out here in Loudoun that we like to follow. They have clinched the number 5 seed in both the boys and girls. So the Stonebridge boys, number 5, will be at number 4 McLean. That's tomorrow night at 7:30 in the Liberty District quarterfinals. The other matchups are TJ at Langley, that's 8 versus 1. South Lakes at Fairfax. Fairfax at number 3. And Madison at Marshall, Marshall number 2. On the girls' side, Stonebridge is at Madison, 5 versus 4. It's a very good 5 versus 4 matchup. I'm sort of surprised that those two teams ended up in the 5 and 4. One of those teams will not make then the Northern Region tournament. The way it works in Northern Region is they play their district tournaments, and if you win one game, then you will advance. There's 4 teams from each of the 4 districts will advance as a 16-team Northern Region. The other matchups are number 8 Marshall at number 1 South Lakes, number 6 Langley at number 3 Fairfax. There's Fairfax again, great year for Fairfax basketball, boys and girls, and number 7 TJ at number 2 McLean. Okay, and as we going out here, I think we flicked the stop recording button a little bit earlier, so we're now live and recording once again. So there'll be a little hiccup when we for the folks that want to watch the show throughout the rest of the week. And we should mention DMV Stream. We want to thank the folks at DMV that are hosting us. DMVSTREAM.COM, it broadcasts pro, amateur, college, high school, AAU, and youth games in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Live to televisions, computers, and mobile devices like iPads, iPhones, Androids, and more. So if you go to DMVSTREAM.COM, which is where you're already at, check it out. And they're going to be doing a lot more of the game of the weeks. And I think it's pretty exciting. It's kind of cool to see the local games being broadcast. I was able to go to the Region 2 wrestling over the weekend, and it was a great showing by local teams at Region 2. We see a picture here of Logan Smith. If you go on to VivaLoudoun.com right now, you'll see a video of Logan Smith. I did an interview with him after he won another Region 2 title, and it was his career win number 150. So congratulations to Logan Smith of Loudoun County High School, champion. We also had Michael Holcher from Briar Woods. Here's Holcher pictured. He was a champion as well. And Holcher is the 126 champion. Defeated Caleb Yost of Kettle Run 7-5. It was Logan Smith who pinned a wrestler from Shrando in just a minute 10 in the 138 finals. And Loudoun had a third individual champion. You see here this picture. Great shot of Jake David, sophomore from Woodgrove, who really, I think this was his coming out party, and looking for great things for him. Obviously this year, being Region 2 champion, it's a very tough region, but junior and senior year coming up after this. Let's see how far Mr. David can go. Congratulations to all 3. But there were almost 20 wrestlers from Region 2 advanced, not just these 3 we're highlighting as the champions. And on the team front, how about a big shout out here to the Loudoun County High School wrestling team. The Raiders, if we can be honest about it, the Raiders should have been the Region 2 champions, which I think would have been first. I don't remember a local team able to win Region 2. The final team scores was Fauquier 147.5 points. Loudoun County tied with Skyline at 144.5. That included a couple of controversial matches over the weekend. You're always going to have issues with officiating in any level in sport, but I have to say my heart goes out to one wrestler in particular with Loudoun County, and that would be Matt Sun, who finished 5th in the 126. And truly, I think if you talk to any of the fans that were there with Loudoun County, and then the objective fans that were there, they felt like he should have advanced in the match against a Fauquier kid. And of course, if those points had been given to Loudoun County and just the opposite way points taken by Fauquier, then you can see Loudoun County would have been sitting at the top of the scores board. So it's a little unfortunate, but he had a great season, and Loudoun County as a whole, well done to the wrestlers. Woodgrove finished 6th with 123.5 points. Potomac Falls was 9th with 93 points. Great showing by the Loudoun County wrestlers. Fantastic job. If you go on Viva Loudoun right now, and if you ask a question for any subject that we're covering here tonight, it could be wrestling, it could be swimming, it could be any of these other things that we're talking about, and what we might even talk about is, how about a shout out to the Stonebridge ice hockey team. Stonebridge ice hockey finishes yet another 10-0 season. They played their rival Broad Run on Friday. Stonebridge 8, Broad Run 2 was the final score. Stonebridge is if you ever get to the Ashburn Ice House, it's great to watch the high school hockey. How about the fact that it's free? I mean, local sporting events, can you say that? Stonebridge ice hockey is just a dynasty right now. This year, not only are they 10-0, but they have scored 83 goals in 10 games. They've given up 10 goals. So the average Stonebridge ice hockey game this year is 8-1 victory. They won 8-2 on Friday against Broad Run, so that's sort of par for the course. Congratulations to the Bulldogs. They won the NVHSL, the Northern Virginia Scholastic Hockey League title last year. They're going to try to go for it again this year, and honestly, they're a big favorite to do that. So we're going to give them a big shout out. We had wrestling, we had hoops, we also had gymnastics over the weekend. Apex Gymnastics is a big sponsor of Viva Loudoun. The Cheer Sports and Apex, these are two places that have been really with us from the very start. So if you have a chance, they have all different levels for the girls, from the very, the youngest girls that are just starting out in gymnastics all the way through the high school levels. You see a lot of the girls from Apex that end up going on and competing in high school, and then they compete in college. So congratulations. Gymnastics has been going. We see some pictures here from the Dulles District meet. This was when Loudoun County a week ago was able to take the title. Congratulations to Loudoun County. But on Saturday, it was a big Saturday of sports. It was the A/AA state qualifier for gymnastics. Gymnastics does not allow the AA teams to go on and try to win a state title, but they allow the girls as individuals to go ahead and compete. So they have this AAA, all the A and AA schools from around the state can go ahead and compete. And the Loudoun County girls, of course, dominated, because this is one of the few areas where AA actually has such a strong showing for gymnastics. There were girls from Harrisonburg and different places that came and competed with them. Sarah Connors from Briar Woods took the overall title. Congratulations to Sarah. She won the floor with a 9.650. I believe that's the best score this year for the floor. Hannah Powell from Loudoun County won the beam with a 9.1. Congratulations to Hannah. Sarah Connors also won on the bars, and on the vault was Victoria Minor with a 9.25. So that is a great job by all those girls. Loudoun County very strong. They had Victoria Minor, who was second place, Hannah Powell third place in the all-around to Sarah Connors. And how about John Champ, the newest high school in Loudoun County? Haley Nichols from John Champ. She was fourth in the all-around. Fantastic job by Haley. And we had swimming over the weekend. So there was gymnastics, there was wrestling, there were special basketball playoff games. And we had swimming. Swimming, Region 2 was the big meet. The local teams weren't able to come away with the title at the Region 2 meet. That was Western Albemarle on the boys and the girls side. You're seeing photos here from the Dulles District meet. Jeff and Eddie took those photos. We want to say thank you to Jeff and Eddie. But the strong showing by the local teams. On the boys side, Potomac Falls finished runner-up to Western Albemarle. 71 points, Western Albemarle was 87, so it was fairly close in the team race. And on the girls' side, Western Albemarle was strong with 144 points. Keep in mind that there's diving portions that Western Albemarle can do, and they're not. Loudoun County is not allowed to do diving or pole vault. If it involves diving or falling, somehow the lawyers at some point said you're not allowed to do that. But on the girls' side, how strong were the girls behind Western Albemarle? Dominion, 2nd place. Heritage, 3rd place. Briar Woods, 4th place. Charlottesville was in 5th, and then we have Tuscarora in 6th, Potomac Falls in 7th. Woodgrove finished 10th. So great meet for the local swimmers. We had a lot of state cut times during the meet. William Lynn for Potomac Falls had a very good meet. I believe he won 2 events. He won the 400 meter. Lizzie Mighton from Briar Woods, she won the 400 meters. So for the Loudoun kids, they swept the 400. In the men's 200 free, the Heritage Relay team, Philip Crouch, Jake Schroff, Daniel McAllister, and Tim Burris were able to bring home a title. Carrie Lee of Heritage won the 100 meter back, and the Champ High School again, Joaquin Gabriel, another new swimmer, won the 100 meter breast. Kaylee Rosenberg was a great swimmer from Heritage High School, very strong. She won the 100 meter breast. So congratulations to the local teams. A nice job that they were able to do. We don't have a lot of time left here. We're down to sort of the last 5 minutes. We had a couple other news items that I wanted to get to. One of them was the, if you follow what's going on in the state, the Tebow bill, named for Tim Tebow. And the bill doesn't have to do with sort of mediocre NFL quarterbacking. What the bill has to do with is Tim Tebow, who was homeschooled, was able to play for his local high school in the state that he lived in. Here in Virginia, if you're homeschooled, you can't play for your public high school because Virginia High School League that runs the public high school athletics in the state, they have rules that you must attend your public high school in order to play for it. And every year there seems to be these bills, even more so recently, a number of bills that go through the state legislature. Just recently, I believe it might have been even today or yesterday, but in the House in Virginia, the one of the Tebow bills was passed, and now the Senate would have to approve it. So I don't know how the average fan feels about it. I personally, I think as a sports writer, it opens up too many possibilities where you could get these athletes who just want to do their sport so much that they literally become homeschooled, knowing then that they can concentrate, practice on their sport all the time, and they can then also still play for their public high school. It's what the VHSL has said over the years, and what some of the athletic directors that I've talked to privately, is that it's not necessarily a level playing field if you've got kids that have to be at school at a certain time. You know, here in Loudoun County, if you're not to school on time, you don't play that day. You can't play for your varsity team or any of the teams. So you would have a difference in what time maybe you had to wake up, how much schooling you had to do on a game day. So it just makes it a little bit difficult to control the situation. And I understand that the homeschool kids, they want to play for their community school. I totally get that. But they make a choice. By being homeschooled, they have chosen not to be in their public high school, and part of that public high school experience is to play for your public high school team. So if they really do want to play for their public high school team, then they could go ahead and attend a public high school. And I understand also that they're taxpayers and whatever, but I guess the other argument that I used to always use is that if you're able to allow the homeschool child to go ahead and play for the public high school, why, in some ways too, couldn't you say, why couldn't the kid who goes away to Bishop O'Connell or Paul VI or Middleburg Academy, why couldn't they still play for their local school team as well? Because in the same situation where their families are taxpayers, they live in the neighborhood, and it could even be a situation where maybe the prep or private school they go to doesn't offer a certain sport, and they really want to play that sport. But again, they've chosen not to go to a Broad Run or a Stonebridge or a Briar Woods. So I'm hoping that the Tebow bill is intercepted in the Senate and does not get approved. I'm going to save my last shout out of the night for Maggie Phillips from Loudoun County High School, a very talented junior volleyball player, basketball player, but really just a great all-around person. And she was behind this Hoops for Heroes night that Loudoun County held recently. Was doing so much work behind the scenes. She recruited VivaLoudoun to help become one of the sponsors to it, and we enjoyed working with it. It was a doubleheader basketball game against Tuscarora over at Loudoun County. It was a great evening, and even though both Loudoun County teams won, that really wasn't the real story. The real story was the fact that they were raising money for the Wounded Warrior Project, which does great things. They had one of the servicemen there who had been wounded and been helped through the Wounded Warrior Project was there at Loudoun County, and when he walked out onto the court and the standing ovation that the fans gave him, that was one of the nicer moments that I've seen in my high school sports writing career. So Maggie and the rest of the girls and boys varsity program, they had a goal. They wanted to raise, pretty ambitious goal. They wanted to raise $10,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project. That's a lot for a high school fundraising project, especially when they're in the middle of their season and they're trying to compete and doing all the practices and going to school. Well, they weren't able to raise $10,000. No, instead they were able to raise $16,000. That's an amazing amount. It goes to a great project. So Maggie Phillips, congratulations. That's a big shout out for you this week. So we'll be back next week at 9 o'clock on Monday night. And again, we're going to have all the results from the Dulles District, Liberty District. We'll have the beginning of the region. We'll have your region matchups. And I'm sure we'll have more news coming on the different hiring fronts. So this has been Viva Loudoun Live with Dan Sousa. You've been able to see some of this on the playback. Some of it we hit the record button. Some of it we didn't. We'll work on the mouse issue here. Have a great week, and we will talk to you later.